Hey everybody, welcome to the All Things ColecoVision podcast. This is going to be a quickish update, letting you know what's going on with the podcasts, with our other channels, with the games we're working on and everything else. It's going to be freeform. I don't have a script. I don't have any background video going. Just going to be me talking up a storm. So let's just give you an idea what's going on here. First off, if you're aware or unaware, Bit Milli Games moved from our location in East Palestine, Ohio, to a nicer office in North Lima, Ohio. So that move put us back a little bit. We were hoping to debut the All Things ColecoVision podcast and everything about it on the first of the year. We had built up like 15, 16 videos that we pushed out just as a premiere. And then I just got stuck in so much other stuff, I haven't been able to do much. So now I'm starting to get on top of that. So what's going on with the All Things ColecoVision podcast? This podcast is going to be, as you're already aware from the title, all about the ColecoVision and the Coleco Atom, which is right over here. Oh, by the way, just as a side note, and if you're wondering, I don't think I have ADD or ADHD, but I do suffer from something shiny. The Coleco Atom over here is running a 24-hour day, 7 days a week bulletin board service you can contact or you can connect with using your computer and Telnet. So if you are bored and you want to know what it's like to experience a 40-year-old computer bulletin board system, open up your Telnet, go to atombbs.servebbs.org, port 6400, and connect. It's pretty cool. Tried to do the chat. I may actually answer you if I'm not, if I have the TV on. Sometimes I turn the TV off because I don't want to get monitor burn as it's sitting here. But if I have the TV on, it will ding at me, and then I come on, we can type, we can chat, just like it used to be in the olden days. So, Atom BBS is running on that. Next up, I put out a call on Facebook. I am trying to get a list of current home brewers, not just the coders, but the companies. I'd really like to get a good definitive list of them because I'd like to do some really in-depth videos on what products they are offering. Not just me. I mean, I don't want to just use this channel to tout myself. Right now, that's basically all I had to tout because I have to chase down everybody else. Oh, and we got some really exciting stuff coming up about Coleco. Can't say nothing else, but that's it. Really exciting. Month and a half. It's not me. It's somebody else, but it's exciting. Oh, something else. Yeah. See, the squirrel's kicking. I've had like one pot of coffee today, so it's not as bad as it could be. Speaking of which, hang on. Need a drink. Yeah. Anywho, Retro Game Club members. Besides the fact you're probably getting your renewal notices in the mail, and you can save 20% if you renew now via PayPal. But Retro Game Club members, and if you're not a member, you can go to retrogamersclub.us and join. It's $50 a year, and what you get out of it, well, you get every game we ever written, you get to download them free of charge. Play them on your emulator, play them on if you have an SD cartridge, you can play them on that. Or you can send us your hardware and fix it. We had one member, he came up with a pretty good way of using that stuff. See, part of our program is if you have something that's not working on your ColecoVision, just contact us, let us know, see if we can something we can fix. If we say, yeah, you just send it to us. You pay the shipping to us. I mean, the ColecoVision console may cost you $15 to ship it to us. We work on it. If we can fix it without having to, oops, I'm playing with the cable. I better put it down so I don't mess up the audio. If we have to replace parts, depending on where the parts come from, if they come from just old systems we have as parts machines, no charge. If I have to go buy brand new chips and put them in it, I might have to charge you the cost of the chip. But other than that, there's no charge for anything else. And you just pay to ship it to us, and you pay to ship it back. So what I was saying is we have a club member, and what he did is he went on eBay, and he found someone who was selling a ColecoVision console that didn't work. Can't test it, broken. And he asked me, he said, if I had them shipped to you, could you check it out for me? I said, sure, go ahead. So they did, they sent it to me. And what was wrong with it? Well, besides the fact that the on and off switch was jammed, so you could never turn it on. It was really jammed inside the system. It suffered from the fact that people plugging and unplugging the video nonstop, and the video connector in the back had broke the solder joints, and there's a couple other solder joints were loose in there, and then it was all filthy dirty inside too. So he sent it to me, and we spent like an hour or so fixing it, and sent it to him. Worked out great for him. So it's something to keep in mind. I mean, if you're considering getting a ColecoVision and you're You don't want to spend $200 or $300 on one that says brand new in box. You just want to get one to play and use, but you don't want to take a chance and get one that don't work, and you don't have the time, energy, or knowledge to fix it. Become a club member. Send it to us. We fix it for you. Anywho, I didn't mean to go off on a commercial about the club member. I just was talking about that because I wanted to bring up the next thing. On the club right now, you can download our latest game. It's Demon Attack: The Next Wave, and it's a two-game cartridge. Demon Attack: The Next Wave and Atlantis: A City Rebuilt. Both of them are games that came out originally 40 plus years ago on the Atari, on the Intellivision, on a number of other systems, but neither one ever came out on the ColecoVision. Now, we were originally going to release it on cartridge, but because of a hubbub and someone else saying, hey, I'm doing it too, we said, you know what, fine. We released it digitally to our members at the end of November. And what we're going to do now is, because it was well received, but we've had a number of people say, we want it on hard copy. We want the actual cartridge. So we got to, here I am playing with the cable again. I got to stop that. So we are starting a Kickstarter. It should be live around the 18th or thereabouts, where we are just doing a bare minimum Kickstarter. We want to raise $2,500, which is the cost to produce 100 cartridges. And that's it. So that we can then sell the cartridges. Now, what do you get if you back? If you back the game on Kickstarter, you actually get the game. So you're buying the game. And if we can sell 38 copies thereabouts of the game, that pays for us to be able to create 100 copies of the game. You get your copy for $50. And it's personalized too, so on the title screen it actually has your name built into the ROM permanently forever. It's yours. Nobody can take it away from you. And we in turn, we get the campaign money, and we then can order the cartridges, because we're not going to do the recycle, reuse old cartridge route anymore. We have a 3D printer that works over in China and makes some beautiful 3D print copies of the cartridge. We've already done 5 that we had a sample sent to us, and it was beautiful. So we'll be ordering them, and just ordering them alone is like $600 just for the shells. And then we have the cost of the packaging, the boxes, the manuals, the artwork, and the PCBs, the ROM chips, the support chips, all of that. So what we want to do is we're trying this instead of building the cartridges, going 2,000 or so in the hole, building the 100 cartridges, and then trying to recoup our money on them. We want to try this route and see what happens first. We will see if we can raise the money to make the cartridges, and then we don't have to worry about recouping. We don't have to rush it out the door to try to recoup the cost within a certain amount of time. We can sell them as needed. So anyways, that's Demon Attack, The Next Wave in Atlantis, A City Rebuilt. If you look on the other channel, 8bitmilli.com, you can see it. If you wait till next week when the Kickstarter comes out, you'll see more videos of it. And I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it already. It's a really awesome game. Other thing we're working on. Now, I want to give you a little backstory on this one. This one, maybe I shouldn't be talking about it, but I want to anyways. Because this is something that I mentioned in the Retro Gamers Club podcast, podcast 3, podcast 2, I don't know. Whatever. I mentioned a game we were working on, and then it got shelved. Well, it's come off the shelf, and it's 60% done, 70% done. All right, so the name of the game is, well, there's 2 different names. I'm not sure which one I got yet. It's either The Last Viper, which I kind of like. I just don't want it to confuse it with The Last Starfighter. And the word "the last" has slight negative connotations in it. But The Last Viper, I like, because that's actually what the story is. And some of you maybe ahead of me already know, oh, I know what he's talking about. Or Viper Commander. Viper Commander I like, but it's like generic. So it probably will be The Last Viper. Anywho, if any of you are a fan of Battlestar Galactica, the original one, 1978 version, not the one with Edward James Olmos or whatever his name was, the guy that had really bad acne when he was a kid. Not that version that was on the Sci-Fi Channel or whatever it was on, which I tried to watch, and it was kind of interesting, but yeah, I didn't like it the way they went. I like the old campy stuff with, what was his, Lauren Green and Dirk Benedict, and I can't remember who else was on it. Boomer was originally, wasn't Boomer originally one of the rookies on the TV show The Rookies, I think. Maybe not. Anywho, the last Viper. I'm going to call it that for now. Concept. If you're familiar with Battlestar Galactica, you know that it starts out with the peace conference. The Cylons and the humans from the 12 colonies have a big gathering, and they are making peace after, I don't know, hundreds of years, thousands of years of war, however long they were fighting. And the Cylons sneak attack and destroy the fleet. And the Galactica races away, leaving everybody behind, pisses everybody off, excuse my language, to go back to their homeworld, because, I mean, you got to think of home first, later everybody. But I did not know, because you've seen this stuff in the background, but, I mean, it's Battlestar Galactica is like Star Wars. You got the fanboys, and you got the books, and you got all this canon and all this stuff. In the background, there was a Battlestar called the Columbia that was destroyed there in the fleet deck. Well, everything was destroyed in the fleet, but the Columbia was destroyed in the fleet. So, here is the concept, and it's already playable. I'm already playing it. It's going out to beta testing next week for some of the parts of it. I still have to add a lot to it, but some parts are getting playable. Columbia, destroyed by the Cylons. They attacked, they destroyed the fleet. The Columbia basically is destroyed, but if you're familiar with Battlestar Galactica, you know they had the landing bays, which are the little like tubes that hang off the side. The Vipers come in and land, then they shoot out the magnetic launch tubes. One landing bay still has some power left, still is going, and there's still people alive in there. And there's one Viper ship left in there. A Viper, if you're not familiar, if you're into Star Wars, a Viper is an X-Wing, but it actually kind of looks more cooler because, well, not more cooler, but yeah, it's got that, it looks more like a jet. There's one Viper left, and you know how to fly it. And you get in that thing and you say, launch me. You're going to go out and you're going to try to stop the Cylons from killing everybody who's still alive in this landing bay. So, in the game, you shoot out. I might put a video back here. Actually, you know what? No, I won't. I was going to say, I might put a video back here. But like I said, there's no video, so I'm not going to put a video back here. You'll see video later. But you launch out the tube, part of the game. It does launch out. And you see stars everywhere. And you're moving, you're flying around the stars. As you move around the stars, move all around the screen and stuff, you can dive down and do loops and all this stuff like that. It's first-person view. You don't see anything else but that. But on the starfield, you see squadrons of Cylons flying around. And what do you got to do? That's right, you got to kill them. And if you don't kill them, they kill your buddies. So you start shooting and you start killing them. And if you're familiar at all with how the battles worked in Battlestar Galactica, is the vast majority of the time, the Vipers shooting out front, killing Cylons as they flew past them. Cylons got behind the Vipers, they shot them. The attacks in the fighting in Battlestar Galactica was very similar to like World War II planes. You get behind you, you're trying to shake the person on your tail. And then you go after them, you shoot them as they fly past you, you get on behind them. So you're shooting them as they're racing around you, you're trying to destroy them, you're trying to destroy the waves so that you can go back and, you can go back and land. That is part of the game too. You go back and land in the landing thing, refuel, relaunch, go back out, fight the next wave, and each wave gets harder and harder and harder. But the fun part of the game is, while you're shooting at them, they don't turn and come at you and shoot at you. No, that's too easy. No, while you're flying, your screen lights up and your screen lets you know they're behind you. They got target lock and you got to shake them. You got to shake. You watch Maverick, you see, beep, he's got tone and he's like, oh God, let me dodge, let me leave, let me leave. He's everywhere trying to get away from him, trying to get them off, shake them off your tail. Well, that's what you got to do here. You got to shake them off your tail because they'll get target lock on you. A few seconds later, you see bolts flying past you. And on the third bolt, you're done. So it's continuous, non-stop moving. Chasing these things, now I like doing the joystick here. Chasing these things around, shooting at them. Use your turbo, go faster, get away from them. And it's really well done, the 3D aspect of it. When you shoot your laser, did they call them phasers, lasers, plasma beams, whatever. When you shoot, you aim right at the center and you shoot and you're moving. It doesn't keep going to the center. It will go off to one side or the other, up, down, the other, just like it would in normal things, when you're moving around, your bullets, your shots are going to where you aimed at them, not where you're aiming at now. And the same thing with the Cylons behind you. They're shooting at you, and they're not going to get you. They're shooting at where you're at. That's why you have to dodge them to get that target lock, get that tone, get that color off your screen so that you're safe, so that you can hopefully loop around and catch them behind them and shoot them again. Anywho, Last Viper. I do like the Last Viper. Coming out, I would say it's probably going to be in May or June. It might be in April, but I would say May or June release. Could be in April if I push it. I may, depending on how we do with the Kickstarter with Demon Attack, I may do the same thing with The Last Viper in that it goes straight to Retro Gamers Club members for a month or so as part of their bennies, and they get the digital copy to play with, and then it goes out for sale for others. And I may do the same thing with Kickstarter, depending on how this Kickstarter goes. I may actually run a Kickstarter campaign to cover the cost of making it. So that's that one. Other things going on here is we still have the 8-Bit Milli channel, obviously, where I'm going to try to, excuse me, coffee, you know, the sip, getting dry mouth. On 8-Bit Milli channel, I am trying to, well, not trying to, I'm going to try to move it further, move it away from ColecoVision and ColecoAtom and more into the 8-bit realm. I posted, that's premiered, probably has already premiered by now, is my first video on the NES, and I've got some more coming on that one. So the 8-Bit Milli channel, I'm trying to progress it out. If anybody who knows me, you'll know that my first channel was Retro System Rescue, which was similar to 8-Bit Milli. It was just basically me fixing things up, and I had fun with that for a couple years, but honestly, I got tired of buying stuff to fix for the video. So I said, you know what? Yeah, no more of that. So about 2 years ago, I put up a notice on this saying, this channel's moved, and I tried to tell everybody, go to 8-Bit Milli. And people still kept going to Retro System Rescue, and they kept subscribing. So I decided, you know what? I'm resurrecting, bringing back to life Retro System Rescue. But I renamed it, and I cleaned all the content off of there because it doesn't fit the new one. Instead of Retro System Rescue, it's Retro PC Rescue. Why? Because that opens me up to the next batch. Doing PCs. I'm saying PCs from debut up to Windows XP. Nothing past that. Screw it. The system right there. And what I'm starting out with is I'm doing a PC. I'm totally restoring a PC that is kind of special to me. Is an E-machine that I bought 2004, 2005. It was the third new computer I bought for my business. I started working self-employed in 97. And when I first started in 97, I started using an old 486. I paid 25 bucks for it at a salvage yard and using that to design websites and coding. And the first contract I got and the first money that came in, I went down to the store and I said, I need a brand new system, no more of this using old stuff. I went and bought me a an E-machine. I think it was a 433i or something like that. It was a Windows 98 system. Oh yeah, everybody says E-machines suck, but they didn't suck for me because all I did was code and make web pages and do graphic design. So I did not need speed. I did not need tons of memory. I did not need great sound. I didn't need special graphics. They were perfect little desk machines for me. And when I maxed out that one and I got done doing that one in 2001 or 2, I bought a T1100 or a T1000, whatever, which was running Windows XP. I loved that one. That became my main system. The Windows 98 system got to the side and was my backup archive system. I used that T1000 up until 2004, I believe it was, when it got to the point where I turned the computer on and then go make coffee. Not make a cup of coffee, make coffee and come back, and then it was done because back then, you know, everybody was installing everything and that registry was screwed. So in 2004, 2005, thereabouts, I bought a new E-machine from Tiger Direct. The first one I got from Tiger Direct too. I bought a new one from Tiger Direct. This was a T3516. Yeah, the numbers mean nothing to anybody else. But it was a Windows XP system also, a gray desktop tower. And that became my main system. The T1000 became my backup system that held my stuff in archived. And that old Windows 98 machine became a machine for my kids to use. That T3516 basically ran my business. I moved my business from just making web pages up into coding and everything. And that was my business from 2004 to about 2010. And in 2010, somewhere along the way, I do recall somewhere along the way, I bought another e-machine that had Windows Vista on it, thinking the next upgrade. And I remember that thing sucked so bad, I gave it to my wife and said, here, play games on it. I stayed with my old XP, and then I bought two of these smaller e-machines. Both of them had Windows 7 on them. One became what I called TV Beast. It was my media player, and the other one became my new main system. And 3516 got set to the side as backup archive, and the T1100 or T1000 went to the kids. And that new e-machine I still have. It's running my email and my accounting system still on it. Because trying to transfer tens of thousands of emails from Outlook Express from one system to another is a pain in the neck. So I keep it as long as possible, even though now I've moved over to Linux completely. But the other one, the T3516, I set to the side, and over the past couple years, I wiped the hard drive out, reinstalled Windows XP in it, and I tinkered with it, but it just sat there. And I decided over Christmas, I said, I'm going to restore that system back to what it was when I got it. And that's going to be the first thing on Retro PC Rescue, is I am restoring this old e-machine. Again, people, hey, e-machines suck. Well, this one didn't suck, and it doesn't have the bad power supply. It was just not Alienware. You couldn't play the latest version of Crisis or whatever. I really didn't care. I used it for other things that put money in my pocket, not wasting my brain cells. But I got the T3516, and I'm restoring that right now. I completely stripped it down to nuts and bolts, and it's scrubbed out, cleaned out inside and out, nice and pretty. I've got a period correct keyboard that I grabbed at the Goodwill for $5. It was the exact same keyboard that came with it. The reason I don't have the original keyboard or mouse or speakers for the originals is because over the years keyboard got bad, threw it away, we upgraded the mouse, upgraded the speakers, so I don't have the originals, but I've been chasing them down. I have a new old stock original rollerball mouse that goes with that system, that came out with that system. I have the original speakers that came with that system. These are used, but they're in great shape. And I was able to chase down the original, some of the first 4x3 17-inch LCD monitors that e-machine sold with this system. So I got the complete package, everything. The only thing I am missing, I realized this morning, is I'm missing the e-machine mouse. So I got to chase down on eBay, see if I can find that. Not mouse, mouse pad. Anywho, I spent a lot of time talking about that one, and that's not even All Things ColecoVision. That's just the other channel. Anyways, back to All Things ColecoVision. This has been a little lengthy podcast, but you know, I'm kind of comfortable doing this. Just talking to the screen like this. I'm going to do this more often. I have one other thought too. Is anybody out there listening to this? Actually, yeah, I'll tell you. I want to take a Pi, a Raspberry Pi. I have a couple of them, and I got Arduinos too. Maybe Arduino will work. Anywho, I want to take one of those little mini computer thingies, and I need to add in sensors. Unless this can be done in Linux. What I want to do is I want to make something that has two little light sensors on it, and I want to put them right up against the LCD screen. And I want to have Donkey Kong playing on the screen, or another game, but Donkey Kong to start with. Donkey Kong for the ColecoVision. And I want to move little Mario out between those things. This is on the bottom line, so if you just imagine the Donkey Kong game, I want to get down on the bottom line there. And I want to stop him there. And I want those sensors to sit there and just look at the screen around him. And if a barrel comes this way or a flame comes this way, I want it to tell Mario to jump. Simple as that. Just trigger the joystick, whatever. Jump. Why do I want to do that? Because I'm wondering, can you set this thing up and just how long can you let it go? Will this thing run for days and days, racking up millions of points before it finally crashes it without ever leaving the first screen? Without ever leaving the bottom. Just sitting there, jump, 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 jump. It was a thought. I want to do it. So if anybody out there, I don't even have to build it. If you want to do it, that'd be great. I mean, get a hold of me. I'd love to do whole videos on it because that'd be awesome. But that's the thought I had. Anyways, this has been a great little podcast for me. I have enjoyed it. And I was hoping somebody would call it BBS while I was doing this so I could say, look, we've got a caller. Hello, caller. What's on your mind? Yeah. Have a great day. We'll do this again. Bye.